Dear students, welcome back. Now I am going to explain the remaining part of the lesson. Already you know Horace Danby heard a voice from the doorway and he couldn't complete his work. Let us continue the lesson. It was a quiet, kindly voice, but one with firmness in it. A woman was standing in the doorway and Sherry was rubbing against her. The voice he heard was calm and firm, a kindly voice. Then he saw a woman standing in the doorway, and the dog Sherry was rubbing against her. Now we can see a short description about the woman. The woman was young, pretty, and dressed in red color. She walked towards Horace and then arranged the decorations kept on the fireplace. Down, Sherry, she said. Anyone would think I had been away for a month. She smiled at Horace and went on. However, I came back just in time, though I didn't expect to meet a burglar. Down, Sherry, she said. She ordered the dog to stay away and said that people might be thinking that she was away for a month. But she was back in time and didn't expect a burglar to welcome her back at her house. She smiled at Horace and said, I came back in time and I didn't expect to meet a burglar here. Horace had some hope because she seemed to be amused at meeting him. Horace was a bit hopeful. Why? Because she is not frightened. She is amused rather than being panicked on seeing a burglar. He might avoid trouble if he treated her the right way. He thought that if he treated her well and didn't do anything wrong, then she might let him go. He replied, I didn't expect to meet one of the family. So he also told her amusingly that he also didn't expect to meet any family member. The lady didn't expect a burglar, and the burglar says he didn't expect a family member because he thought that there was nobody in the house. She nodded. I see what an inconvenience it is for you to meet me. What are you going to do? Then she said that she realized what an inconvenience she was to him. She came to know that she created inconvenience for the burglar. And she asked him that what would he do now? The lady asked him, what would you do now? Then Horace replied that at first he wanted to run away. Then the woman replied that he could do so, but she would call the police and let them know that he was robbing her house and they would catch him. Horace said, I would, of course, cut the telephone wires first and then. He hesitated, a smile on his face. When the lady said I would call the police, Horace said that he would obviously cut the telephone wires first. He hesitated, a smile on his face. I would make sure that you could do nothing for some time. Horace says he will make sure that the lady could do nothing for some time. A few hours would be enough. Horace replied that he would obviously cut the telephone wires first and then he would do something to her so that she was not able to do anything for a few hours. The conversation is going on. She looked at him seriously. You would hurt me. Horace paused and then said, I think I was trying to frighten you when I said that. You didn't frighten me. The lady looked at him seriously and asked him that would he hurt her. Horace replied that he was just saying that to frighten her. She was not frightened by what he said. Now Horace gives a suggestion. Horace suggested, it would be nice if you forget you ever saw me, let me go. He told her that it would be better that she forgot that she ever saw him and let him go. The voice was suddenly sharp. Why should I? You were going to rob me. I let you go. You will only rob someone else. Society must be protected from men like you. Suddenly she spoke in a sharp and loud voice that why should she let him go? He was there to rob her and if she spared him, he would go and rob someone else. She said that society needed to be protected from people like him. Horace smiled. I am not a man who threatens society. I steal only from those who have a lot of money. I steal for a very good reason, and I hate the thought of prison. He smiled. Horace smiled. He said that he was not a threat to the society. He was not a threat to the society. He stole only from those people who had a lot of money. He stole the people who had a lot of money. Also, he stole for a good reason. But the thing is, he hated even the thought of going to prison. He hated even the thought of going to a prison. When Horace said he hates even the thought of going to a prison, she started laughing. And Horace begged her. Horace was begging only because he thought that he had convinced her to let him go. He was desperately asking the woman not to go to the police and that he would surely stop robbing people. He promised her and told her that he meant what he said. She then looked closely towards him and asked him that he was really afraid of going to prison. She was silent, watching him closely, and then she said, You are really afraid of going to prison, aren't you? She looked at him closely and she asked him that was he really afraid of going to the prison? You are really afraid of going to prison, aren't you? She came over to him shaking her head. She shook her head and said, I have always liked the wrong kind of people. I like the wrong kind of people. She picked up a silver box from the table and took a cigarette from it. The woman picked up a cigarette box made of silver and took out a cigarette. Horace was eager to please her. And seeing that she might help him, Horace was sure that she will help him. So took off his gloves. So in order to please the lady, Horace took off his gloves and gave her his cigarette lighter. He quickly removed his gloves and gave her his cigarette lighter. You will let me go. He held the lighter towards her. Yes, but only if you will do something for me. Anything you say. You will let me go. He held the lighter towards her. Then he asked her that would she let him go and pointed the lighter towards her cigarette. Horace quickly replied that he would do anything for her. Now the lady is saying what she needs. Just listen. Before we left for London, I promised my husband to take my jewels to our bank, but I left them here in the safe. I want to wear them to a party tonight, so I came down to get them. But the lady said that before going to London, she had promised her husband that she would put all the jewelry in the bank, but she left them here in the Grange. And now she had to go to a party. So she came down to get the ornaments. But she continues. Before she could finish, Horace smiled and said, You have forgotten the numbers to open the safe, haven't you? Yes, replied the lady. Just leave it to me and you will have them within an hour. But I will have to break your safe. Don't worry about that. My husband won't be here for a month and I will have the safe mended by that time. And within an hour, Horace had opened the safe. Horace broke the safe within an hour, given her the jewels, gave her the jewels, and gone happily and left happily, thinking that he was safe now. For 2 days he kept his promise to the kind young lady. On the morning of the third day, however, he thought of the books he wanted and he knew he would have to look for another safe. For 2 days he kept his promise to the lady that he won't steal anything. But the third day, he thought about the books that he wanted to buy. And he started thinking about the next robbery. He started thinking that he would have to look for another locker to steal from. But he never got the chance to begin his plans. But he didn't get a chance to begin his plan. He couldn't get the time to plan the next robbery. Why? By noon, a policeman had arrested him for the jewel robbery at Shotover Grange. A police officer came to his house and arrested him for the jewel robbery at Shotover Grange. A police officer came to his house and arrested him because his fingerprints were there all over the Shotover Grange. His fingerprints, for he had opened the safe without gloves, were all over the room, and no one believed him when he said that the wife of the owner of the house had asked him to open the safe for her. He opened the safe without gloves and his fingerprints were there. No one believed him when he said that the owner's wife had asked him to open the safe. That means the lady whom he met at Shotover Grange was not the real wife of the owner. She was also a thief. The wife herself, a grey-haired, sharp-tongued woman of 60, said that the story was a nonsense. She said that the story was a nonsense. The actual wife of the owner, she said that the story was a nonsense because she had never met Horace. At last, Horace was arrested. He was cheated by a wise lady. She was also a thief. Horace is now the assistant librarian in prison. He was appointed as the assistant librarian in the prison. He often thinks of the charming, clever young lady who was in the same profession as he was and who tricked him. He always thinks about that lady. Charming, clever young lady who cheated him. The lady of same profession and the lady who tricked him. He gets very angry when anyone talks about the honor among thieves. Horace believes that from his experience, he believes that a thief doesn't put trust in other thief. Here, Horace trusted the lady and the lady questioned his trust. In the beginning of the lesson, you can see the same question. But in the lesson, you can see that the lady cheats Horace. So, Horace concludes that there is no honor among thieves. So, our lesson is over here. So now I think you got a clear idea about the lesson. Thank you for listening. Students, today's homework is read the lesson and answer the given comprehension questions. Questions will be sent to you through the WhatsApp group. Read the lesson and answer those questions.